So home equity, it's what everyone wants, it's what everyone is talking about, but what exactly is it? And once you own a home, how do you actually get it out? So in today's video, we're gonna go over all about equity, because one of the biggest difference between wealth creation is this: homeowners build equities and renters do not. Now let's get into it. So home equity is just the amount that you're left over with, and it's what your home is worth in value minus what you actually owe. Then that gives you your equity. So for example, let's say your home's value, it's worth $400,000. Your loan amount or your mortgage is at $200,000. That difference, if you subtract it, that $200K, that's gonna be your equity. And here's why equity creates wealth, is because number one, it grows over time, and it can actually become accessible money that you can take out of the home in cash itself. And this is also what separates renters from homeownership. When you're paying every month your mortgage payment, it's lowering your loan balance, which is increasing the amount of equity you have. When you rent, this doesn't happen at all, and you're actually building your landlord's equity. Then it also gives you leverage. So there's many different ways you can use this money in the future. You can use it as potential investment properties. A lot of people use it as a down payment on the next home that they're buying. And a lot of them, if they would have just saved up, it wouldn't have been the same amount as if they used their equity in the home. And really, it's just stored wealth that's in the home. And here's the first way of how to build up your equity. One is pay down your mortgage. So every month that you send out your mortgage payment, the principal amount on that you're paying towards is lowering your loan balance. Now, you're gonna be shocked whenever you look at your mortgage statement, really years 1 through 8, majority of your payment is going towards interest and not going towards the principal amount. So during those first several years, you're not paying the loan amount that much. Normally on the halfway mark, that's when it starts shifting, and then you start heavily paying down your loan balance. And here's several tips that you can use to help speed this up, to pay down your mortgage a lot faster. Number one, you can do quarterly payments. So make a quarterly payment once every 3 months. 2, you could do bi-weekly payments as well. Then you can do an extra payment every month or an extra payment every year. The trick is to apply this entire amount towards the principal balance, not towards the interest. Make sure you're very clear with the bank on this, because that's the only way that you're gonna be lowering that loan amount a lot quicker. And the second way to help build up your equity is to make improvements of the property, which pretty much forces automatic appreciation. So if you make improvements, do like a rehab project, renovation, or making any sort of upgrades in the house, that will automatically help increase the value of your house without having to pay down the loan. So example of this, let's say you buy a house for $200K, you start making improvements on it, and the market value after the improvements are now $250. That right there just gave you about $50K of equity. And here's the third way of how to build up your equity. It's appreciation, which is just passive growth. This is actually one of the most powerful forms, because you yourself are not doing anything. It happens within the market. So if the market has increased in value, or if inflation has risen, also if there's a lot of buyer demand that drives up prices, your equity grows with appreciation of the market. And here's an example, and this is actually a real life example in itself. Let's say you bought the home for about $200K. Then 5 years later, it's now worth $400. Your equity in it is a $200K, which increased just from appreciation. This happened to a lot of people that owned a home before interest rates were in the 2s and 3s. And because of buyer demand, also inflation, it increased the value of real estate in general, really across the country. So that's why a lot of home buyers are sitting on a lot of equity because of this right here. And one of the ways you can take your equity out, you can do what's called a HELOC. And a HELOC is just a line of credit that's on the house. And think about almost like a credit card that's backed by the home. And what they do is you're gonna get approved for a certain limit. So let's say you get approved for a line of $30,000 on your home. You only have to make payments on the amount that you actually use, just like a regular credit card, same idea. So if you only use about 15,000 of that 30K limit, you're only making payments on that 15K. And the overall benefit of using a HELOC is, number one, it's accessible. It's there if you need it. You can take it out the exact amount that you need, pay it back. It's always going to be, as long as the line is open, it's always going to be accessible to you. Also, you get to keep the original mortgage on your house. It doesn't replace the old mortgage. So if you are someone that has like a 2-3% interest rate on your mortgage, You get to keep that. That doesn't go away, but you will be making 2 mortgage payments with using a HELOC. And you can do what's called a cash out refinance. And how it works is it replaces your old mortgage and creates a whole new one. So the lender gives you the equity in cash at closing. And again, after that, you're only going to be making 1 mortgage payment on that amount because your old mortgage has gone away. And for example, let's say that your home is worth $400K. Lenders will allow you to take out 80% of that value. So the cash that you will be getting is about $300K, $320K, and that's if you did not have a mortgage underneath that, then you'll get all of that amount. If you do have a mortgage, then you'll just subtract that from that amount, and that's how much you'll be netting from this. And the benefit is, again, you're only gonna have 1 payment. You're not having to make 2 different payments like you would a HELOC and other types of loans. And you're gonna get the full cash in hand at closing. And this is really good for if you're wanting to take out large amounts of cash from your house. Then you can do what's called a HELOC, which how it works is it's a second mortgage, and they're going to give you a lump sum of money. It's also a fixed rate. And this is really the difference between a HELOC versus HELOC. HELOC is a line of credit. You only take out what you need. HELOC, you're gonna get a lump sum amount, and it's also a second mortgage. And the benefits of this is it's a lot lower rate than using an actual credit card. It's also, you're going to get a lot more predictable monthly payments because it's a fixed rate and you took out 1 lump sum. And the benefits is you get to keep, let's say your old mortgage, you have a really low rate, like a 2 or 3%. You get to keep that. It's not paying off your old mortgage and replacing it with a new one. It's a second lien. Then you can also sell the house, and what you'll do is you're going to sell it for whatever market value is. Then that mortgage gets paid off and you keep the difference of that. And for example, let's say that the market value of your house is $400 and your loan amount or how much you owe is $200K. Then you get to keep that $200K, that difference, that's your actual equity. So if you're a homeowner and you want my help in accessing your home equity with different loan options, click on the link in the description, schedule a call, and I'll be in touch.